Okay, continuing on from yesterday, we're looking at Dresden. So, looking at Dresden. This is a church called Die Frauenkirche, or the Church of Church of the Lady. This was originally left over as a monument after the war, standing for protesting against the use of violence. This was a church at one point. When I was there in '92, they were having a protest because the person that led and designed the firebombing of Dresden was having a statue erected in his honor in London. And they thought that it was inappropriate that somebody that targeted civilians should have a city or have a monument in his honor. About 15 years ago or so, they decided, hey, let's rebuild the church. Let's go through the rubble and put the pieces back together like a giant jigsaw puzzle. This is the Frauenkirche, and so that's what they did. They went through the rubble, found pieces, and started putting it together. Where they could not find the pieces, they remade the stone. This is the Frauenkirche. So on this picture here where they're starting to build it, the cream color is new stone, the black is old stone. And here's what it looks like today. Cream is new, black is the old original stone. This is what they were able to put together from the rubble. The Frauenkirche, or the Church of Our Lady in Dresden. You can go inside now. It is an operating church. They repainted the inside and everything. It was built from scratch with original parts. Here's the cathedral in Dresden, and this was actually like a private church at times for the ruler of Saxony, the guy that owned this region before it became Germany. And he had his own skyway for him and his family to be able to go from the palace to the church without having to go outside. His own little private skyway. Now we have skyways all over the place, but this was something unique. And it's a little fancier than our skyways are. Moving on. This is one of his palaces called Der Zwinger. Fancy, lots of glass. This is the courtyard in the middle. Today it is a museum. And this is the Opera House in Dresden. Again, it was a city known for its architecture, and it was targeted during World War II. Anybody know what this is? This is the Ufa Palast. It's a movie theater, and if I zoom in, you can see, yes, it's a movie theater with Spider-Man, Spirit, 40 Days and 40 Nights, and I don't remember what the other movie is. Yep, movie theater. McDonald's. When I started, or when I lived in Germany the first time, in '92, there was only one McDonald's in the region because this was East Germany before, so they didn't have a lot of Western things. I had to travel between an hour and a half to go to McDonald's if I wanted to by hopping on the train. One time, I actually hopped on the train and went to Dresden and bought McDonald's for my host family, Lenka, the one that was singing in that video. Brought it to them. Obviously, by the time I got home, it was cold, but it was their first time of having McDonald's. Yes, sir. Do they have what? They have good, normal grade meat. Yes. They have extra value meals. They call them spa menus. This picture was taken in 2002, right when the euro came out, so it was about $1 for €1. So the prices weren't that bad. However, you get medium drink and medium fries. The Maxi, I can't tell you because there's somebody's head in the way. I was taking this picture even though you're not supposed to take pictures in there. but I always take pictures in restaurants. I got yelled at once. Here is Hamburger Royal. That is the quarter pounder. They do have things in Europe that they don't have in the United States. For example, heißes Kakaogetränk, which is hot chocolate. Fischmeck is the filet o fish. This one here, the Gemüsemeck, that we don't have. That's a veggie burger. We have McRib. Yeah, we've had McRib before, yeah. Yeah. Yep. And here they had bagels. I had never seen them with bagels before. Grilled Texas bagel, California bagel, etc., etc. Okay. Let's go now to Spreewald. Spreewald is an area of Germany where the Spree River, the one that's up by Bautzen and that, where the Sorbs live, spreads out into hundreds of little tiny rivers. It's like the bayou country in Louisiana in the United States. This is what it looks like. It's very lush in the summertime. Hundreds of little tiny rivers separated from the one. And there are people that live here. You can also take tours by taking a tourist boat like this one. It's not very deep, maybe 3 to 5 feet deep is what the water is here. But if you live in here, you're not going to drive a car into here. You have to walk. You see a little footbridge here, or you have to take your boat in. Yes. No. No alligators. Oh, in the winter it can get cold, but in the summertime it's just fine. This is not a jungle. It's the same kind of animals that you would find around Minnesota. It's not a jungle. It's not like the Amazon. Notice they build up walls right along the river to keep their land from washing away. They build houses there. They have farms. Here's somebody's house with their boat that they use to get in and out of the region from. There are some places that you can drive in. There are some places where you just park the car and you might have your boat parked there and you take your boat in. There are other places where you can just park and then you have to walk to get to your place. Here you see a boat parked there, you see the river, you see the wall and mailbox. Because if you don't have streets, how does the mail get there? By boat. It is a frog one, yes. Haystacks. They have a unique haystack there where they put the hay on a huge wooden platform so that if the water rises, so does the hay. As the water rises, so does the wooden platform to keep most of the hay dry. It'll rise up on this pole. And yes, it does snow in Spreewald. Notice that it's not cold enough for the river to freeze over, but it was cold enough for it to have a nice coating of snow. So this is the central part of Germany where you begin to get snow and things like that. Next, let's go to Bautzen. Bautzen was at one of the main Sorbian cities. And can anybody tell me what the name was in Sorbian? Because if you remember, the Sorbs lived here before the Germans came. And so they had their own name for it. And then when the Germans came, the Germans named it Bautzen. What was the Sorbian name? Cullen? Budyšin, yes. And so you'll see that even in the train station, it's in 2 languages, Bautzen and Budyšin. Bautzen and Budyšin. Here's a view of Bautzen or Budyšin. I took this picture from the other side of the river. The city is over 1,000 years old. Here's another view. This building in the center you saw on the backdrop when we were talking about minorities in Germany. That is called the Wasserturm, or the water tower. The river's down here and it pulled water up so that people could access it up here in the walled city. And this building here is called the Hexestube or Hexehütte. This is called the witch's hut. There's the Spray River. There's the witch's hut. It's a house down by the river, but the shape, there's a legend that a witch used to live in it. And so the people that live there actually have a little stuffed witch that hangs outside the door. Interesting roof design. Very nice, cozy. Lots of towers in Bautzen. The building on the left is the town hall. And what do you notice that it has? Like I told you about European cities. What does it have, Mom? Clock. Because the people didn't own clocks themselves. Yes. Yep. Hey, look! In 92 on the left, they were having an American show. They were going to have real, live Native Americans. Do they look like real Native Americans to you? What's wrong with them? They're too light color? They're too white, yeah? Anything else? They have a bear with a muzzle on it. Okay, the muzzle is meant to keep the bear from attacking people. Whenever you have seen Native Americans, be it on TV in traditional outfit, not in some stupid movie, do they normally wear red, white, and blue leather? No, it's normally buckskin color, natural leather color. And most Native Americans do not go around with a tomahawk in their hand. But if you don't know any better, you'll believe that these are real Native Americans. I bet they didn't even speak English. I didn't go to the show, but I bet they spoke German. On the right-hand side is a small store in Bautzen or Budischen, Backwaren. Backwaren means bakery or bakery goods. Underneath is the Sorbian word for it, piecło. And then it says, miasto a kolbasa. Anybody here ever hear the word kielbasa before? Anybody hear the word kielbasa? What is kielbasa? Anybody know? What's kielbasa? Good, Olivia. It is a type of sausage. It's actually the Polish word for sausage. There is the Sorbian word for sausage, kolbasa. Sada zelenina would be fruit and vegetables. It's not all old buildings in Bautzen. They also have new. This is their new mall. And the parking for the mall is on the roof. The tunnel on each side is how you drive up into the parking for the mall. Inside the mall, modern building, modern stores. Escalator here between first floor and second floor. And in order to go down to the basement stores, they didn't have an escalator. They had a moving sidewalk tilted at an angle. So it wasn't an escalator, it was a moving sidewalk, but it was at an angle to go between the two different levels. You had one of those as well, Tony? Uh-huh. So at the angle, not an escalator. Yep. Okay, moving on. Excuse me. Let's now go and just take a look at Sorbs in general. In general, Sorbs in costume, Sorbs outside of costume. Here is the National Theater, the big formal dance company and choir that puts on concerts. In traditional outfits, this is from a region called Hoyerswerda. Lots of coins on the front of these. They were there for a big performance. The president of the state was there and everything. Notice the gentlemen don't have anything really fancy. Pretty much tuxedos, suits. Here is a group of singers in Catholic or Roman Catholic costumes. Also, again, on the front, lots of coins. These are either brides' costumes or they haven't been married yet. That's why they have the coin and the white ribbon instead of the black like you have if you're married. This is the costume that my host mother wore and her choir. This woman was actually in the choir. I didn't know when I took this picture that I'd meet up with her later. Blue and green means they have been married. Red, they are available. Yes, ma'am. Well, this, I'm seeing green here. It might just be how dark the picture is. Because you're not seeing the front of them. I don't think they're all in mourning, no. Okay, upper right, upper left-hand corner, you see 4 sorbs. The one woman in traditional costume from which region again? What costume would that be for? What clothing? Black ribbon in the back. Ribbon goes all the way down to the bottom of the skirt. That's the Catholic costume, or the traditional Catholic outfit. This woman here, same age, also a sorb, but not wearing the outfit. This woman here would wear it, the one in the outfit would wear it all the time. On the right-hand side, these women would probably not wear that every day. They're dressed up because it's a special festival, a cultural festival that was going on that day. And they're spinning yarn. Here's a woman in the village that I was living in, walking down the street. Looks like she had gone to the store or something, but she has the ribbon going all the way down to the back of her skirt in the Catholic region of the sorbs. These girls were not happy. Somebody told them, go line up. We have an American here. He wants to take your picture. So you can see how happy they were to line up there, especially the 2 on the left. They were dressed up in traditional outfits. I think, if I understand and remember correctly, I think they were getting ready for First Communion at church that day. Here is children dressed up. This is called Ptacki Sloop, which means the bird marriage. They reenact a real wedding as kids. Notice the guys are wearing basically tuxedos. The girls have more different kinds of traditional clothing than just a tuxedo. More clothing in the back, but look at the instrument that the guy is playing. Who can tell me what kind of instrument that is? What is he playing? What instrument is he playing? Stone. Don't know? Okay, you had your hand up. Yes. It is a bagpipe. That's right. And who can tell me what the bagpipe is made out of? What is the bagpipe made out of? Right there. Yes. It is not a lamb. It is not a lamb. Similar color. It is a... No, they don't have llamas there. Look at the instrument itself. Look at the instrument itself. Emily? No, that's not a chicken. The one hairy chicken. It is a goat. It is a goat. And so if I zoom in on it, I met that guy later on, and I said, I want to take pictures of that instrument that you were playing, that bagpipe. And so here is a simulated goat's head where the neck would be. You take out, you basically skin the animal. You get rid of the bones, the muscles, the organs, everything, and you make the bagpipe. Now, in order to have a bagpipe, it's sort of like a balloon. What do you have to do once you blow up a balloon? You have to tie it. You have to seal it so that the air can't leak out. The exact same thing that you have to do with the goat skin. So you have the leg hole sealed, another leg hole sealed, the neck hole. That's why they put the head here, sealed, leg hole sealed, leg hole sealed there. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 holes. Is that all of them? Which one's missing? Which one's missing? What? The butt. Because there's the tail. The butthole has to be sealed as well. The leg holes, but you also have to seal the butthole. No, you don't say that you played the butt.
I played the goat.
Or the goat. No, you play the bagpipe. And traditionally that's how all the bagpipes were made. Bagpipes don't originally come from Scotland. They come from other places in Scotland. Scotland borrowed it. Some of the oldest bagpipes come from Syria. Polish bagpipes are the same way, made from goatskin. I told you before that I would have pictures of women with big scarves riding bikes. This is probably from the 1950s. What about riding motorcycles? Nice wide scarves. Notice that the kids, though, aren't wearing traditional costumes. And here are some actors. Because the Spreewald is a tourist region, lots of Germans go there, and right now, to be honest, there aren't a lot of Sorbs left in the Spreewald. They've all sort of become mingled in with the Germans. So a lot of Germans dress up like Sorbs and pretend to be Sorbs for the tourists. How do I know? Try to talk to them in Sorbian and they're like, I don't speak it. I just work here. I'm from Berlin. I'm a student. This is my summer job, just like working at Valley Fair. And so, they dress up, they act, they pretend to be Sorbs. A school. Now this picture is not the best picture that I'm going to show you. This is a Sorbian school. Serbska Vysoka Škola Juričevska, or Sorbian High School in the name of George Cheska. Because this picture was taken in '92, right after the wall came down, which means that they hadn't modernized the schools very much. So when we look inside, it's not going to look very nice. This looks like an East German school during the Cold War. The interesting thing about this school is they had one English teacher that knew how to speak English, and the principal who was teaching English, but also learning English the night before he had to teach. And the English teacher that had actually been to the United Kingdom, she had 4 kids, and each week a different kid was sick, and so she had been gone for 4 weeks, so they asked me to teach English for a while there so that they could have a real English speaker teaching them instead of just the principal who was learning something at night so that he could teach them during the day because he didn't speak English. Nobody in the region really spoke English. Okay. This region along the Spree River has a lot of coal. And instead of digging down in the ground and making regular mines, they just scrape everything off the top. People's houses, the soil, trees. A lot of Sorbian villages have been eaten up by the coal mines. The government says you have to move, and so they have to give up their houses. They scrape out the coal, and then they just backfill it. But once they backfill it, it's been ruined and looks like this. Nothing will grow there. It's like 15 to 20 miles across. It's huge, and it's growing. It's expanding because the company continues to dig farther and farther out. Yes. It is very sandy, yes. Very, very sandy. No, you cannot go and play there. Aww. Dangerous. Okay. This is the village that I lived in. It's called Nebelschitz in German, or Nebelschitze in Sorbian. Church on the hill. This is a Catholic village, Catholic church, Roman Catholic church. Notice people walking with regular clothes, people driving regular cars. We're not talking horse and buggies here. The road basically comes to a T right at the house that I'm in. I'm in a house that used to be a barn that they converted into 2 like townhomes. Very, very nice considering that it used to be a barn. Cemeteries in Europe are quite different. You get your plot for about 30 years. And if your family pays more, then you can have it for another 30. You don't have it forever like you have in the United States. They don't have the room for that to happen. Notice, all the cemetery plots have gardens that people tend. Sometimes they go out there once a week, sometimes they go out there once a month to make sure everything is clean and kept up. Oftentimes they'll have a family plot. For example, this right here is the plot for my host family, Wushansky. The grandmother that I lived with who would make me breakfast and always make me hot chocolate every morning and that. This is her name here, Hanna Wushchansina. She is the last one buried in here. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people buried in this plot. How they do it, I have asked many people and I've never gotten the same answer. Keep in mind, everybody's in a coffin. It's not body to body. Okay? It's not body to body. Everybody's in a coffin. One explanation that I've heard is that they just keep digging down farther and so they're stacked up. Another explanation that I heard is possibly that they're standing on end. Sort of like a pack of gum. Yes? You mean a mausoleum where people's ashes are? Yes. Yep. It's not a shed. It's a building that people buy space in for their urns, for their ashes if they're cremated. Here's part of my host family. And there's me. My friend Sven is the one taking the picture. Sven came to the United States last year for the very first time. The woman waving, she is a German who married into a Sorbian family. She doesn't speak Sorbian. And so whenever she's around, the entire Sorbian family has to speak German. So sometimes they don't like it when she's around. They don't say that, but it's awkward because they want to be able to speak Sorbian and keep the language alive, but when she's there, they want her to be able to understand what they're talking about. This flag here in the middle is over there on my shelf. And so this is one brother, another brother, another brother. The sister is right here. You just see her forehead, and that's her husband. Kitchen inside the house that was created from a barn. Modern appliances, huge refrigerator, lots of wood. The entire thing was wood. Wood floors, wood walls, wood staircase, everything wood. There's a dishwasher and everything here, something that they never had before. Here's the family that lives there on the left. Anyway, that's my friend Sven and his mom and dad, his sister Jeanette, her son Philip. They live, and her husband, they live on the other half of the barn that has been converted. You can see their front door there. Yep. Here's my other host family. Lenka, the one that passed away a couple years ago, the one that was singing on the video. She had been battling cancer and that, and so that's why she doesn't look the same as she used to. This is her son Ronnie. Ronnie can understand Sorbian but can't speak it. He married a German woman, Katrin, who is German but can speak Sorbian because her parents were Sorbian teachers. And so she learned Sorbian. She works now in the Ministry of Art and Culture in the state of Dresden. The middle boy here, he is in high school right now. The taller boy, he was like 2 years old when I was there the first time. This is not right now. This is an older picture. Remember, she's dead. Huh? It's in color. Oh, well. It's like 2002. Notice that not only do they have their street signs in 2 languages, they also have their names in 2 languages. Katrin Noack Katrinoakoa. So when they're talking to a Sorb, they'll use their Sorbian name. When they're talking to a German, they'll use their German name. Even first names, Gregor or Rehor. There's the article that's on the back wall. Sorb on the left. I'm zipping through because, like I said, we were behind. Century Junior High in the newspaper in Germany. That's my German class from several years ago. Last thing, plastic cars called the Trabant. The Trabant is a plastic car because East Germany did not have a lot of steel. So they used plastic. Now the thing about this is you did not choose your color. You got whatever one came off the factory. You normally had to sign up about 5 to 10 years in advance to order the car. So you couldn't choose color. It does not have a gas gauge. You had to calculate how far you're going and what your gas mileage is and figure out when you're going to run out of gas. It's called a Trabant. It does have, I believe I'm still talking, it does have an extra gas tank just in case you run out of gas. And the gas tank is on top of the engine. It's a glorified lawnmower engine, which means it can get maybe 40 miles per hour before it starts to fall apart. Have a good day.